Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this live section. So, guys, stay with me in this live section as I have a lot of things to say about, Kanu's judgments and also, what Kenya said. Hey, my people, I am very sure that by now, Kenya government will be regretting why they collaborated with Nigerian government to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and bring him back to Nigeria. Guys, I'm telling you that they'll be regretting it now. Because you know that Kenya government came out and admitted, yes, they came out to admit that they did not protect Kanu in Kenya, a visitor like Kanu, they did not protect him. And then they admitted that, oh yes, that they treated Kanu wrongly. They have admitted, and now they compensated him with 20 million naira, 10 million Kenya shillings. That's 120 million naira in Nigerian money. Now the question is Kenya government trying to bribe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu after all he has passed through? Please, what is 120 million naira compared to how Kanu was treated? His life is not worth 120 million naira. Can you buy Kanu's life with 120 million naira? You cannot buy anybody's life with 120 million naira. Are they trying to bribe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? We are asking this question. What if that man died in cell? Would they be trying to compensate anyone with 120 million naira? What if Kanu died in cell? Because he was kidnapped from Kenya, treated like, he's not a human being. They tortured him. Kanu emaciated, even started developing health issues. Health issues. And, it got to some points they didn't even care at all. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They treated him badly and then they are bringing out 120 million naira to bribe him. I would just say that as a bribe. It's not just about bringing money. In fact, the truth is that Kenya government, initially they denied that they did not have, they denied that they did not kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but now they have confessed that, they collaborated with Nigerian government and they brought him from Kenya to Nigeria. Guys, you will not tell me that Kenya government doesn't know that this thing happened. For Nigerian government to go to Kenya, like on a free road, nobody stops them. They, went there and they did what they wanted to do and, flew him. You will not tell me that there's no Kenya official or a Kenya resident that is not part of this crime, guys. Me and you know that this is a crime, even in Kenya law, international law, and Nigerian law. The fact that they went to kidnap him from Kenya to Nigeria, it is a crime. They have committed terrorism. So you cannot tell me that Kenya government, you cannot tell me that there's no Kenya official that was involved. All of them. It's not about bringing 120 million naira. I know the court has, said that, or they have admitted. Then there are many things they need to do too. Like they are going to bring those people that were involved. Justice must be served, though. Justice must be served. What is 120 million naira? Can 120 million naira buy anybody's life? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not for sale. Injustice cannot be erased. This man suffered in cell for like 5 years. 5 years in DSS detention. He was sick and a lot of things. They kept him there for so long and then they are bringing 120 million naira. Can you compare 120 million naira to what Kanu passed through and what is still passing through in DSS custody? Imagine, Nigerian government have admitted, Kenya government has admitted, but the people they collaborated with have not even admitted. They are still keeping Kanu in detention. So what is 120 million naira? You cannot compare what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu passed through. You cannot compare 120 million naira to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu passed through and what is still passing through in DSS dungeon. You cannot. That man was treated as if he was not a citizen or he was not a human being. He was badly treated and they are bringing 120 million naira. They should drag all those people that are involved in this crime. They should call all their names, both Kenya and Nigeria. Already, there are some names that have been put up by IPOB. These are the people that were, that collaborated and then, in fact, they were involved in the operation. They mentioned Buhari, they mentioned Abubakar Malami, they mentioned Tinubu, they mentioned so many people's names that are involved. And then Kenya government should also bring out the people that are involved in the adoption of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because it's a crime. All of them, both in Nigeria and in Kenya, they have committed terrorism. So it is the federal government of Nigeria that needs to be prosecuted, not even Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They are the ones. that actually committed the terrorism. So they should be jailed for that. Those people that are involved, yes, they should be jailed for that. Now, on June 28th, 2025, the Kenya High Court ruled clearly and boldly the arrest, detention, and forceful reduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria in June 2021 was illegal. Period. Period. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, not lawfully extradited. I keep on saying this thing, eh? If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was actually, if he did not commit any crime, Nigerian government would have followed due process. Guys, are you with me? Nigerian government would have followed due process by writing to Kenya government to say, this man in your country is a terrorist. And then it's left for Kenya government to do their work. But because they don't have anything against this man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they don't have anything against him. Their ambition is just to silence him and silence Biafran government. That is why they secretly went through the back and kidnapped him, had to even bribe or pay, because for Kenyan government to stoop too low to accept Nigeria, to collect, to do what, or to stoop too low to collaborate with Nigeria to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they must have bribed them for them to do that. Tell me what Nigerian government cannot do with money. Tell me. People are suffering, dying of hunger, but they'll be using resources to be doing unnecessary things. Unnecessary things. So there's no way that they did not bribe Kenya, some Kenya officials to conduct this operation. There's no way. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was actually a terrorist, they will go through normal procedures. They will do things the right way. Because they know he's innocent. That was why they went through the back and kidnapped him without even a lawful extradition. It was not even a lawful extradition. Brought him illegally to Nigeria. Nobody knows his whereabouts. Only for them to see him in a high court in Abuja, handcuffed. Like that. They kidnapped him. Nigerian governments are the ones that committed the terrorism. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped. Let's know that. Not lawfully extradited, not deported, guys. He was snatched like a criminal from a foreign land where he sought refuge and secretly flew into the hands of the Nigerian government. This is called extraordinary reduction. It's a crime under international law. It's a violation of both Kenya and Nigerian constitutional rights. Guys, you can see that it is a crime. So Nigerian government has committed a crime. Nigerian government are the ones, even Kenya government, in fact, Kenya government, they are guilty conscience. Guilty conscience is disturbing them. That's why they had to come out and compensate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with 120 million naira. But then 120 million naira cannot buy anybody's life. What if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu died in detention? Would they be bringing out 120 million naira to bribe him? Are they trying to bribe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for all they have done to him? Do you know how this man suffered in detention? Do you know how he suffered with even medical health? They were even giving him doctors that don't know what they are doing, doctors that are not good in that field. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu truly suffered in DSS dungeon. He suffered there. In all round, he suffered. And then they are bringing out 120 million naira to bribe him for what? No. Kenyan government needs to do the needful. Justice must be served. It's not about bringing money. Justice must be served. They should bring out those Kenya officials that were, that collaborated with Nigerian government and prosecute them. But in fact, they should even call out Nigerian officials that are also involved in this operation and bring them, the justice must be served. They must pay the price, though. Kenya government must pay the price. This 120 million naira they're bringing is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Those people that, were involved in this crime should be prosecuted, and then they should also compensate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for what they have done to him. That's what they are supposed to do. So now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, not lawfully extradited, not deported. He was snatched like a criminal from a foreign land where he sought refuge and secretly flew into the hands of the Nigerian government. That this is called extraordinary reduction. It's a crime under international law. It's a violation of both Kenya and Nigerian constitutional rights. Now, the question is, what's next? The court, the court's ruling is not just for decoration, it must be enforced. And here is how Kenya must act in four powerful steps. Now, Kenyan government should do these things so that we can now believe, okay, we can now let go. They need to do these things so that Biafran government or Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or IPOB members will let go of what they have done to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by collaborating with Nigerian government and kidnapping him and bringing him back to Nigeria illegally. Now, these are the four things Kenya government needs to do. They should arrest the offenders. This is the first thing they need to do. Arrest the offenders. Those Kenya officials who collaborated in the criminal oppression must be identified, arrested, and prosecuted. No one is above the law. No one. You see, Kenya government, Kenya and Nigerian government, these countries, they are just lawlessness. Imagine for Kenya to stoop too low. Tell me the country that will accept this kind of right. Kenya stooped too low, collaborated, in fact, collected money from Nigerian government, collaborated with them, and kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. Tell me a country that will do that kind of thing. Is it not a shame to Kenya government? Is it not a shame to them that they will stoop too low to collect money from Nigeria to conduct such an evil, such an abomination that is against both international law, both Nigerian constitution, both Kenya law? Guys, you can imagine how lawless Kenya is. Now we can now know that Kenya is a lawless country. Imagine something that is against their law. They had to stoop too low for Nigerian government and collected money and kidnapped him. So now the first thing they need to do is not about coming to bring out money. Yes, they need to compensate him, but that's not just all. Yes, that's not all. You cannot just, injustice cannot be erased like that. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has passed through a lot. Emotionally has passed through a lot. Do you know what if that man died there? What would they say? So now it's not about compensating him to 120 million naira. They need to arrest the offenders. Those Kenyan officials who collaborated in this crime, this criminal oppression, must be identified. They should bring them out and show the world these are the criminals. In fact, they should show the world that these are the main criminals. Both Nigerian government that they are also involved in the crime. They should identify them and let the world know that these are the real criminals that abducted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, they should be identified, they should be arrested and prosecuted. If the final judgment will be, they should sentence them to life imprisonment. Yes, they should go for it. Because that is what the law says. No one is above the law. No one is above the law. Now, two, another thing Kenya government needs to do is to enforce the court orders. Enforce court orders. Whatever remedies the court should to be returned, whatever remedies the court should, be it returning Kanu to Kenya or paying damages or demanding public apology, must be done immediately. The time for political game is over. They're just using Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to play politics. You guys know that they're using Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to play politics. Now, it is time the world knows that the time for political game is over. Those court rulings is either they transform Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Nigeria to Kenya. They should enforce court orders. Whatever remedies the courts ruled, be it returning Kanu to Kenya, paying damages, or demanding public apologies. Apology that is going to go around the world. Must be done immediately. Yes, it should be done immediately. The time for political game is over. The time of political game is over. Now, they should pay reparation. Kenya government should pay reparation. These are the things they need to do, not just coming out to bring out 120 million naira. And then Kenya government, this is not, people just, this is just the beginning. You guys have not yet confessed everything that happened. You guys will still come out. This is just the beginning. Just like IPOB has said, this is just the beginning. There are more confessions to come. More confessions of how they treated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will still come. This is just the beginning. Now, Kenya government should pay reparations. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu deserves more than a court or a judgment. He deserves justice, compensation, apology, international recognition of the wrong done to him. They need to make a word up, like the apology must go around the world. If he's coming out to UK to make apology, it's going to be better. They need to pay reparation. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu deserves more than court judgments. He deserves justice, compensation, apology, and international recognition of the wrong done to him. The world needs to know the wrong done to him. And then the world needs to hear the apology that Kenya, in fact, Nigerian government needs to even go on their knees because they have actually, offended the gods. Let me just tell them now. Now, another thing Kenyan government needs to do is to what? Guarantee non-repetition. Guarantee non-repetition. Kenya must pass legal safeguards to ensure such an international disgrace. Kenya must pass legal safeguards to ensure such an international disgrace never happens again. And also, court must be obeyed. People must be protected. People must be protected. Justice must be enforced. Kenya government, is a disgrace to them, like I said earlier. It's a shame on their face. Shame on their face. Because for them to do this kind of thing, it shows that people are not protected in their land. Yes. For them to do this thing, people are not protected in their land. Just like what happened now. Personally, I cannot go and say I want to go and stay in UK, in Kenya. Because I know that people's life are not protected there because of what they do to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Imagine, if people coming to pick you out and, people's life are not saved there for this thing they did. And then, court orders are not even obeyed. You can see how lawless Kenya is. Now, the thing is, Kenya must pass legal safeguards to ensure such an international disgrace never happens again. Courts must be obeyed. People must be protected. Justice must be enforced. Nigerian government alone, it's so hard to see people coming to stay here because already Nigerian government is a lawless country, and then Kenya government is also lawless. People are not protected. They imagine for Nigerian government to carry out their plans. Kenya government stooped too low to collaborate with Nigerian government to bring this man from Kenya to Nigeria, which is very bad. So people's life are not even protected, are not even safe in Kenya. People's life are not safe. So now, Kenya government should guarantee non-repetition by, Kenya must pass legal safeguards to ensure such an international disgrace never happens again. Courts must be obeyed. People must be protected and justice must be served. This is what Kenya government needs to do. It's not about bringing 120 million naira because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not for sale. Yes, 120 million naira cannot buy anybody's life. Yes. What if that man died in custody? What would they say? Who would they now be bribing with 120 million naira? So that man passed through a lot, even his health condition. There was a time he came to court and he was complaining of lumps in his armpits, that they have given him several doctors, but know what they are doing. Once they give him the prescribed drug that is not working, these doctors are not good in their field. It was recently that DSS actually granted his request by, giving him his own personal doctor. That was when you can see that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now stopped complaining of his health issues. It's not like he has gone. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, this 120 million is not enough. It's not enough to what that man passed there. A man that is innocent, have been in closed door. He doesn't even know how outside looks like for 5 years in custody for doing nothing. Just, Kenyan government and political government are playing games on him. This is just the beginning. More confessions is going to come. Now, let's not forget this. This man has been in detention since June 2021. That's 4 years. In fact, it's going to 5 years, guys. In solitary confinement under psychological torture with severe health condition. His basic human rights has been crushed. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So that's why we are telling Kenya government that you see 120 million is nothing. One, release him. Two, that 120 million is even small. If you want to even compensate him with money, it is very, very small. He needs more than that. And then you guys should make an apology That is when we have to now let go, because in the Igbo, they are not troublemakers. Yes, they should be brought to court. Those people that were involved in that crime, they should be brought to, they should be prosecuted, identified, arrested, and prosecuted. That is when, justice will be served. That is when we can now let go. So you see why we say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu 120 million naira is nothing. It's just like bribing him. 120 million naira is an insult to justice. Now, let's not forget that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been detained since June 2021. That's getting to 5 years now, in solitary confinement under psychological torture with severe health condition. His basic human rights has been crushed. Yet, the Nigerian government continues to hold him in hostage. Why? Do you know the painful part? The painful part is that the person you collided with, or you collaborated with, or the government, or the country you collided with to kidnap this man, has admitted their wrongdoing. But Nigerian government doesn't want to admit it. Rather, they are hiring fake people to come and testify against it. And the testimonies are rubbish. Why? What kind of country is this? A country has actually exposed you guys of what you did. Kenya exposed Nigerian government. Is it not high time that they need to? In fact, like I always say, if they don't release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the 18th of June, there's going to be a problem. Because it's clear now that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was like I always say, if they don't release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the 18th of June, there's going to be a problem, because it is clear now. Kenya government has exposed Nigerian government that they collaborated with them to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Until now, Nigerian government doesn't want to admit. They are going to admit by fire, by force. So you see, confession go choke. They are going to confess. And those people they called Buhari's name, they called Tinubu, they called Malami, they called many people. Those people will be identified, and the world will see these are the main terrorists. Let us know that. You see, these people they called out their names. They are the main terrorists. They are the main terrorists, and then all of them will be identified, arrested, and prosecuted, and the world will see them as terrorists. So now, because Nigerian government has refused to admit, and then they are still holding him in hostage because they are too proud. They are too proud to admit the truth that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent, that the charges of terrorism were built on political agenda, not justice. Nigerian government are too proud. Kenya have admitted. They are too proud. Nigerian government are too proud to, admit the truth that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not innocent, they would have given a tangible and credible evidence that he's a terrorist. Guys, this man has been in detention for 5 years now, getting to 5 years now, and then they have not brought any evidence to show he's a terrorist. How can you arrest someone, or how can you call someone a terrorist when you don't have evidence? 5 years now. So how long are we going to be waiting for Nigerian government to bring their evidence? 5 years. They cannot prove that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist. 5 years. They are still keeping him there for nothing. And even when Kenya government have admitted that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent, and that they treated him wrongly by collaborating with Nigerian government to kidnap him from Kenya and brought him back to Nigeria. But Nigerian government are too proud to accept it, to admit this thing, to admit the truth that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent and the charges of terrorism were built on political agenda, not justice. They have to admit, though, They will admit, they must surely admit and confess, and the world will see those true criminals in Nigeria. Now, and even worse, Kenya still remains part of this crime. Let's know that Kenya is not exempted. Even if they bring more than, even if they bring 200 Kenya shillings or 200 million Kenya shillings, it doesn't still make them, exempted. It doesn't still exempt them. They are involved in this crime. They are still involved in this operation because they collaborated with Nigerian government to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Until they fully restore Kanu's dignity and freedom, they remain guilty. Kenya is not exempted. We should know that. Until they do the right thing. And what are the right thing? I've mentioned it earlier. They should identify those offenders, arrest them, and then prosecute them. They should tender an apology that will go worldwide. That Kanu is innocent and they have wronged him. And also, Kenya is still part of this crime. Until they fully restore Kanu's dignity and freedom, they remain guilty. The court judgment is not enough. They must act. That court came out and compensated him and said, no. It's not enough. They must act. They must act. 120 million naira cannot buy justice. Cannot buy justice. Now, let's talk about the disgraceful rumor. Isn't it a disgrace that the court is compensating, or Keyan government is, or the court ordered Keyan government to compensate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with 120 million? Isn't that a disgrace? This is an insult to justice system. It's an insult. Let's talk about the disgraceful rumor. 120 million naira offered to silence Kanu, to buy his silence, to bribe him into submission. People feel that when Kanu is off there, that he's going to keep silent, or he's still going. So all those people that are involved in his crime, all of them will be brought to, all of them, justice must be served. That's just it. So now, how do you put a price on 4 years of suffering? 5 years self. How do you put a price of 5 years of suffering on illegal detention, on torture, on a man's life? What if he died there? Why would they put a price on 5 years of suffering, on illegal detention, on torture, and on a man's life? Let's say it loud and clear. You cannot compare 120 million naira with blood, pain, and agony Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has endured and continues to endure. What is 120 million naira? You cannot compare 120 million naira with the blood, pain, and agony Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has endured and continues to endure. It is not possible. 120 million naira is not worth Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's life. It's not worth anybody's life. You can't use 120 million naira to buy anybody's life. Do you know what that man has gone through? Do you know the agony? Do you know the pain? Do you know what he has endured in DSS custody? And they are using 120 million naira to bribe him. Now, to the Kenyan government, we are watching you, and don't let the court become a toothless lion. Enforce the judgment, arrest the guilty, apologize to Kanu. To the Nigerian government, release him now. Nigerian government, release him now, admit the truth, restore his freedom and dignity. To the international community, speak out. This is not just about African issue. This is a global human rights emergency. One thing that the UK did, or you know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen. When they were looking for him, when he went missing, no UK citizen started looking, or no UK government started looking for him. They left him, even when they saw him later saw him handcuffed in Abuja High Court. They did not do anything. This man suffered there. So now, to the international community, speak out. Speak the truth. This is not just an African issue. This is a global human rights emergency. This is a global human rights emergency. And the people don't stay silent. If they can conduct a man in another country and hold him for 4 years without a fair trial, then no one is safe. No one is safe. Oh. If they can, adopt a man in another country and hold him for 4 years without a fair trial. No one is safe at all. It can be anyone tomorrow. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not just a political prisoner. He's a symbol of resistance, a voice of a people demanding freedom, and a victim of international conspiracy. The Kenya High Court has spoken now. The world must act. 120 million naira cannot buy a man's soul. Justice is priceless. Justice is priceless. This is what this is the truth. If you believe in truth, justice, and human dignity, share this video. Let it go viral. And also drop a comment under the comment section. Let me know what you're saying. Now, take a look at this video where a northern man was saying that Nigerian government should release Kanu immediately. Take a look.
Release Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerian government, release Nnamdi Kanu. I hope you people are enjoying the mass destructions that the Boko Haram are causing in the north. Because it is this careless attitude of you people that will make ordinary citizens to sign a mass destruction of a society. Because how long will you detain this man for no reason? Prove to the world what this man have done wrong. If you people are not enjoying the mass destructions of the north by the Boko Harams, release Nnamdi Kanu now. Because what you people will see in the nearest future, it will be a shocking news to the whole world. Release Nnamdi Kanu. Release Nnamdi Kanu or prove to the world what he have done wrong. You people will witness a heavy load. From one court adjournment to another court adjournment to another court adjournment. Release this man or prove to the world what he does wrong. That is what we are saying. Ordinary citizens will sign a mass destructions of everybody. If you people, if care is not taken, this is just a warning.
So guys, you can see that everyone is now ordering for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. As he has done nothing to Nigerian government, they were only playing games with him. Even the Northerners, people that never wanted to hear anything about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is now admitting now that this man has not done anything new. He was actually saving Nigeria. Now look at what is happening in the north. See what is happening all over Nigeria. Boko Haram, Fulani people have taken their grounds, buying people, unaliving thousands of people. Imagine if Nigerian government listening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Do you think all these things will be happening? Do you think all these things will be happening? No, never, never, never. It cannot happen. So everybody is now believing in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And then let's still continue about what we are saying about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that 120 million naira is not enough. They need to render or tender an apology that will go worldwide. Now let's look at the fact that let's look at the doctrine of state responsibility. In the international law, there is something called the state responsibility. When a government participates in or allows a violation of human rights, like kidnapping someone from another country, that state becomes accountable. That state becomes accountable. We're talking about the doctrine of state responsibility. In international law, there is something called state responsibility when a government participates in or allows a violation of human rights, like kidnapping someone from another country. That state becomes accountable under international law. So let's be clear. Kenya is still legally and morally responsible until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's rights are fully restored. You can't just say the court has ruled and do nothing. They cannot come and say the court has ruled and do nothing. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice delayed is what? Justice denied. If Kenya fails to follow up, then the court system is useless. It means any country can just ignore rulings, and there is a very dangerous precedent. If Kenya fails to follow up, then the court system is useless. It means any country can just ignore rulings, and that is a very dangerous precedent. Now, why is the Nigerian government why the Nigerian government refuse to release Kanu? Why is it that Nigerian government doesn't want to admit? Let's ask that difficult question. Now, Why is the Nigerian government still holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu despite all the legal victories in both Nigeria and Kenya? The answer is fear. The answer is what? Fear. Fear of the truth. They fear that once Kanu is released, the lies they have built, their narrative on will collapse. Let's just know it. This is the reason why they don't want to release him. Even when Kanu has, won in Kenya court and in Nigeria court, Kanu has won. Kanu legally has, won in both Nigeria and Kenya courts. This is why they don't want to release him. Fear. The fears of the truth. They fear that once Kanu is released, the lies they have built their narratives on will collapse. They fear the millions of people that support him. They fear the millions of people that support him, not just in Nigeria, but across the world. Fear. They fear accountability for the Operation Python dance, for the killing of peaceful IPOB members, and for the decades of marginalization in the East. This is why Nigerian government are still holding him hostage. The violation of ECOWAS and African Quarter, let's talk about that. It's not just about Kenya and Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's abduction and torture violates multiple international treaties. It violated ECOWAS and African Union quotas. It's not even about Kenya and Nigeria law or internet. It violated international law all around. The ECOWAS protocol on democracy and good governance, it violated that. The African chapter on human rights and people's rights, the United Nations Convention Against Torture, and even Nigeria's own constitution. So when Nigeria continues to detain him, they are violating both international and domestic law. And when Kenya doesn't take action after the ruling, they are spitting on the very treaties they signed. Guys, are you seeing? Are you seeing what is happening in this country? Are you seeing what Kanu is passing through? Are you seeing what he's passing through? When Nigerian government continues, now these are the treaties that they violated. The ECOWAS protocol and democracy, the ECOWAS protocol on democracy and good governance. That's one. These treaties, Nigerian government and Kenya signed all this. Two, the African chapter on the African chapter on human and people's rights. That's two. Three, the United Nations Convention Against Torture. That's three. And even Nigeria's own constitution, they signed this treaty. So when Nigeria continues to detain him, they are violating both international and domestic law. And when Kenya doesn't take action after the rulings, they are spitting on the very treaties they signed. Now, we have a lot to talk about in this live session. Just stay with me in this live section. Now, the medical abuse inside DSS custody. Let's talk about that too. I'm just telling you reasons why 120 million naira is not enough. Yes, justice must be served. Let's not sugarcoat it at all. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had a very bad health condition. Reports have shown that he is suffering from multiple untreated health conditions. 1. Health issues. 2. High blood pressure. 3. Ear problem caused by torture. Sure, you see how this man was battered in DSS custody. These are the problem he has. Deteriorating health condition. Reports have shown that he is suffering from multiple untreated health conditions, heart issues, high blood pressure, ear problem caused by torture, and stress-related illnesses. Yet the DSS refused to allow him proper medication for him. They deny him access to his doctor. That is no murder. That is what they don't know. DSS should even be dragged to court for this, for denying him of his doctors. And then, they treated him badly. That's no murder. It's a crime of inhuman treatment and medical negligence. Even criminals, people that kill people on a day, these people that carry guns, armed men, when they are being caught, they don't deny them of good medical care. They don't. So what has Mazi Nnamdi Kanu done to be denied good medical care? What has he done? Nothing. But those people that have been unaliving thousands of people, they still give them good medical care. Look at how bad Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's health is. Look at how many health issues he's suffering from. Heart issues, high blood pressure, ear problem caused by torture. They tortured him to the extent that he had to lost his, he started developing ear problem. That was how bad the torture was. And then also stress related illnesses, guys. Yet DSS refused to allow him, have proper medical care. They deny him access to his lawyers. That is slow murder. It's a crime, murder. That is a crime of inhuman treatment and medical neglect. No court in any civilized country would allow a man to remain in such a condition for this long without consequences. So why is Nigerian government allowing, all these things to happen? So why is Nigeria allowed this to do it? Why is Nigeria allowed to do it? Because Nigeria is lawless now. Nigeria is lawless. Is Nigeria civilized? Nigeria is not civilized. Imagine, a country violating their own laws, and you're telling me they are civilized. Even going to collaborate with another country to violate their own law. Treaties they signed, they are violating it. Now, let's talk about the legal victories Kanu has already won. The legal victories Kanu has already won. Let's also remind ourselves this is not the first court victory for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In October 2022, the Nigerian Court of Appeal ruled that his arrest and detention was illegal and that he should be released. The court said Nigeria violated its own law by forcefully adopting Kanu from another country without following extradition procedures. What did the Nigerian government do? They ignored the rulings. They filed a stay of execution. This shows you one thing: they don't respect the law. Even after appeal court has acquitted him, Nigerian government had to they ignored the rulings and then they filed a stay of execution. This shows that Nigerian government don't respect the law. They respect power and they fear justice. You can't destroy a man who stands on the truth. You cannot destroy a man. They were thinking that by now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be tired and he will give up. But I'm sorry. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's voice is still loud. Even in custody, after even with the health condition, the pain and everything, his voice is still loud. The way Nigerian government planned it is not going as planned though. That is why, disgrace wear them cap. Shame on them. Now, you cannot destroy a man who stands on the truth. It's not possible now. It's not possible. Why are they just putting so much effort? Do you know that if Nigerian government puts so much this kind of effort in these killers, in these Fulani terrorists, do you know that there will not be killings in Nigeria? Putting effort when they know that you cannot destroy a man who stands on the truth. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has endured more than most of us could survive. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has endured more than most of us could survive. They thought putting him in chains would break him. They thought, putting him there or keeping him in DSS dungeon for like 5 years, or by now he will die or he will back out or he'll give up. Never. But instead, he had made him stronger in the heart of his people. He's now not just a leader. He's a symbol of resistance. He doesn't want to back out or give up. Do you know what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said? We were surprised. In fact, Nigerian government was surprised to hear this. It was a shock to them. Even with everything that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has faced in DSS custody. Do you know what he said in one of his court sessions? He said he doesn't care if he spends another year again in this place. Nigerian government don't know the man they are dealing with. That's just it. They don't know the kind of man they are dealing with. He said he doesn't care if they add another extra year. That Binta Inyako must, drop that case, must not preside on his case again. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. Nigerian government doesn't know, or the kind of man they are dealing with. He said he doesn't care if another year is added to him here, or if he stays for another year, that Justice Binta Nyako must recuse herself from his case. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. Now, they felt that putting him in chains is going to break him, but instead, it has made him stronger in the hearts of his people. He is now not just a leader, he's a symbol of resistance. You cannot lock a body, but not the spirit of just cause. You can lock a body, but not the spirit. You can just lock him, but not. They should know that Biafra is a spirit. Biafra is a spirit. It's not just you can. If Biafra was not a spirit, when Ojukwu died, Biafra would have died. But no, another person took it up. Even in Simenepa's case, he's also winning in court. So Nigerian government are just putting effort, putting unnecessary effort on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case where he knows he's innocent. It is time for global human rights organization, West democracies, and the African Union to stop pretending they don't see. They speak loudly on Ukraine. That is justice. It is time for global human rights organization, Western democracies, and the African Union to stop pretending that they don't see. They speak loudly on Ukraine. They condemn coups in Mali and Niger. But when a man is illegally adopted and held in solitary confinement for 4 years, they go silent. Where is Amnesty International? Where is the United Nations? Although Amnesty International has been talking, saying, but we don't just need you to be saying, act. If the rule of law is truly a global value, then now is the time to act. Because this is not just about Biafra, this is about justice. They talk about Ukraine, they condemn coups in Mali and Niger, but they keep silent when a man was illegally adopted, held in solitary confinement for years. They go silent. Amnesty International used to talk about, the illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and order for his release. Talking or, it's not the best, it's not enough. Act. We need you to act, not talk, not just talk. So if the rule of law is truly a global value, then now is the time to act, because this is not just about Biafra, this is about justice. The people must not sleep. Finally, this message is for every son and daughter of the East, every African, every African with a conscience, and every human being who believes in justice. Don't stay silent. Share this message. Demand action. Hold Kenya and Nigeria accountable. Keep calling, keep writing, keep marching. Because as long as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains in detention, none of us are free. We are in captivity. You see, Nigeria, as far as you're in this, you're in a great, and life is meaningless without freedom. As long as that man remains there, everybody is not free. You feel you're free. No. Now, let's talk about how Igbos were, betrayed. To fully understand why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's matter, to understand this, you must understand the history of the Igbo. You must understand the history. Igbo people have faced systematic injustice since the end of the Biafran War in 1970. No region in Nigeria has been more marginalized and economically strangled than the East. I keep on saying this thing. The East have endured nonsense from Nigerian government. They were marginalized politically. They were economically strangled. The East, even till now. From the massacres of innocent civilians during the war, to be abandoned, from the massacres of innocent civilians during the war, to the abandoned properties, to exclusion from power, infrastructure, and federal investment, to Operation Python Dance, and the extrajudicial killing of peaceful IPOB members. It's not just politics, it's a pattern, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu became the voice that finally said, enough is enough. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said enough is enough, that is why they arrested him. That was the only thing. His crime was because he did not keep silent to the marginalization of the Igbos, to the persecution of the Igbos. That was his crime. Because he said no. Is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the only person agitating? So why are they after his life? He spoke not just about independence, but about dignity. That is why they fear him. Nigerian government cannot stand Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They can never stand him. So this is it. If you want to understand Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, you have to go back to what happened, during those days. How Igbos were marginalized. Even till now, how many Igbo men will you see in Senate House? Out of hundreds of them, how many will you see in Senate House? How many of them will you see in government positions? Good ones. Chief of Army Staff, is he an Igbo man? EFCC DG, is he an Igbo man? Chief of Defense Staff, is he an Igbo man? You see that you can barely see an Igbo man in government office because Igbos are being persecuted, they are being marginalized politically. You cannot see them in any good position in government. Ministry of Education, will you see Igbo man? Ministry of Agriculture, will you see an Igbo man? Kanu's struggle is not terrorism, it's a political struggle. The Nigerian government keeps calling him a terrorist, but let's pause and ask, has he bombed anyone? Has he bombed any government building? Has he kidnapped citizens or foreign nationals? They keep on calling him a terrorist. Nobody, no soldier, no civilian, no one has come out to say that he has killed his loved one or he has killed or he has bombed anybody. Nobody. Nigerian government keeps calling him a terrorist, but let us pause and ask ourselves this question. Has he bombed anyone? Has he bombed government buildings? Has he kidnapped citizens or foreign nationals? The answer is no. What he did was to speak on radio. That was what he did. He organized peaceful sit at home. He educated people politically. Even when soldiers were invading his father's compound in 2017, he did not retaliate violently. You guys know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu lost his two parents because of this. When soldiers invaded his father, they will not talk about this thing, no. Nigerian government, they will not talk about this thing. When they invaded his father's compound in 2017, he did not retaliate violently. He did not go to do back. He did not revenge. So why are they calling him a terrorist when they cannot even prove he's a terrorist? The only thing he did was to speak on Radio Biafra. To speak on radio. He organized peaceful sit at home, sit at homes. He educated people politically. If calling for self-determination is terrorism, so what happened to this man? What was that his name? Nelson Mandela. You guys know the story of Nelson Mandela and others. If calling for self-determination is terrorism, so then is Nelson Mandela. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. He's a political prisoner. And that distinction matters a lot. He's a political prisoner. They want to kill the ideal by destroying the man. They want to silence, Biafran government. What we are witnessing is an attempt to assassinate a movement by crushing its leader. The Nigerian state believes if they hold Kanu long enough, that Biafran agitation will die. But they fail to understand one thing. Oh, Nigerian government, they don't know that keeping that man there for a minute is actually causing problem. Nigerian government don't know that keeping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in that tension for a minute will result to this kind of problem. They don't know. They don't know the consequences that will follow after. They don't know what they are doing. Time will come when they will regret all their actions against this innocent man. The time is coming. We are already seeing it now, and there are more to come, guys. They want to kill the idea by destroying the man. They want to kill Biafran government. What we are witnessing is an attempt to assassinate a movement by crushing its leader. The Nigerian state believe that if they hold Kanu long enough, the Biafran agitation will die. But they fail to understand one thing. You can kill a man. You can kill a man. This is what Nigerian government fail to understand. You can kill a man, but you can't kill an idea whose time has come. You can kill a man, but you can't kill an idea whose time has come. The more they suppress him, the louder the people cry out. The more they jail him, the more the cause to spread across the world. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison and came out as president. Let's know that. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison and came out as president. Kanu has only spent 4 and is already a global icon. They think keeping him there will solve or their plans to be accomplished. They don't know they are spoiling things for themselves. Kenya must choose one thing. They should obey the law and obey Nigeria. The Kenyan government now stands at a crossroad. Your court has ruled, yes, we know. Kenyan government has now, we know that they have given their judgment. They now stand at a crossroad. Your court has ruled, your constitution has spoken, but will your politicians obey the law, or will they obey the Nigerian government pressures? Would they, would they bow to pressure and disobey the law? Kenya must understand this. This is not just about one man. This is about a soul of African's democracy. Kenya must understand this. This is not just about one man. This is about a soul of African democracies. If a citizen cannot be adopted from your soil and you do nothing, then your own people are not safe either. If this Nigerian government can invade Kenya and adopt somebody, that means people in Kenya are not even safe. This is not about one man. This is about the soul of African democracy. If a citizen can be adopted from your soil and you do nothing, then your own people are not safe either. Today it's Kanu. Tomorrow it can be a journalist. It can be a student. It can be a lawyer. Even a politician. Kenya must act before it's too late. It's not about coming out to compensate him with 120 million naira. It's not enough, please. Nigeria's image is collapsing before the world. With every extra day that Kanu spent in detention, Nigerians' global image crumbles. They don't know this thing, no. They think they are doing themselves good. They don't know that every minute, every second Kanu spend in DSS dungeon or in DSS custody, Nigeria's global image crumbles. The country that claims to be the giant of Africa now looks like a place where court orders are toilet papers. The country that claims to be giant of Africa now looks like a place where court orders are toilet papers, where human rights mean nothing, where political prisoners rot in silence. Investors are watching. Diplomats are watching. The diaspora is watching. You cannot build a credible nation on the bones of impunity. It's not true. Free Nnamdi Kanu and restore some dignity to your own reputation. Free him. You can imagine the kind of country someone is in. Lawless country. Freedom is not a gift, it's a right. Let this be known. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu does not need pardon. Severally, he has come out to say this, that he's not begging anyone to release him. He demands justice. Freedom is not a gift, it's a right. Let this be known. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doesn't need pardon. He doesn't need negotiation. He needs justice because he has committed no crime. Freedom is not a gift from government. It is a right from birth. And when the right is taken away, the people must rise up and demand it. He must be released, not because the government feels generous, but because the law demands it. The people demand it. Even God demands it. We are no longer in the 1960s. This is the era of social media, global awareness, and international activism. What is hidden in DSS cell is being shouted in the street of London, New York, Toronto. The world is watching. The world is watching Kenya. The world is watching Nigeria. And they are watching to see, will Africa stand for truth or fail for tyranny or tyranny, or fail for tyranny? The choice is clear. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, uphold justice, respect the courts, and let the light of freedom shine again. It is clear. The choice is clear. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, uphold justice, respect the courts, and let the light of freedom shine again. So, guys, you can see what is happening. It's not about compensating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with 120 million naira. Justice must be done. Identify those offenders, arrest them, and prosecute them. So, guys, we have come to the end of this live section. Thank you for joining me. Do well to hit that subscribe button and also drop a like button for us. Hit that like button, drop a comment for us. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.